I'm a professional motion designer and I absolutely hate Adobe After Effects. In fact, I don't really think that's like an unpopular opinion. I'm pretty sure most of us absolutely despise Adobe, motion designer or not. They're an awful company, and I have been trying to find an app that I can use for my own personal use, but can still make professional work that's high quality. And I'm trying to find an app that's either cheap or free. And I've heard about Blender. Um, I never really considered it like something you could use for motion graphics, but I did a quick search on YouTube, seeing like because people can make really incredible animation on YouTube, and this one guy in particular really inspired me to try to take Blender seriously for motion graphics. His name is Dédouze or Dédouze. It's like French, you know. So I don't know how you would say that exactly, but like Dédouze or whatever. And his stuff is absolutely gorgeous. The palette, the style, it's so beautiful. I've been trying to get in contact with him for a while, so if anybody knows this man and can give me their like give me his phone number or email, I would love to reach out to him. But besides that, he really inspired me to hop on and try to give Blender a shot. And even though he's not necessarily doing motion graphics on it, I felt like I could see the potential to do MoGraph in this program. Mainly because Blender features this awesome tool called Grease Pencil, which lets you draw 2D objects in 3D space. And I just felt like that like opened up literally a whole new dimension into my art, like, and my work. And in the past I've tried to learn 3D motion graphics in the past, and I still like I know the basic, I understand the basics and like materials and things like that, but I'm not like the biggest fan of it just because I don't it's like that extra my brain works very much flat, like it works flatly. Like I like 2D objects, I like painting, like I like planes. Like even back in art school and things, like I would complain to I had to take a 3D design course, and I let the teacher know that I only think in 2D. And I the only art class I nearly failed was, well, actually I should have absolutely had failed, but Jeff, if you're watching this, I love you. I took a ceramics class, and I had to take some type of fancy 3D class, like a more in depth. So I had to take a 3D design thing, and then like a class that that focuses on 3D design, something like that. This is many years ago, but yeah, I nearly failed that class because 3D stuff in the third dimension is just too much for me. Okay, and even in that class, I would draw things like I would etch into the clay or whatever, and just everything was just super flat. So long story short, I think in two dimensions, one side at a time. But I was just so inspired by Dédouze and his work that I had to give it a shot. So another thing too is the reason I even thought like, yeah, I think I could try to do motion graphics in this is mainly because I saw that it actually had keyframe animation into it, which I did not know that. Yeah, I just didn't know that. I don't know why. I was, for some reason, like, I just assumed that only Adobe had something like that, or like yeah, like After Effects or Adobe Animate and stuff like that had stuff like that, but I'm dumb. And I'm learning, I even recently learned that people call it tweening, like tweening animation. To me, that just sounds so like, I don't know, like cringe. Like I would never call it tweening. That's not what I say, at least. I just call it keyframe, like keyframe animation, something like that. Nevertheless, you can tween in in Blender, which is great because I can't actually draw. Like, yeah, that's what's great about the graphics world is like you can really cheat and not really have to really draw things as long as you have a good eye for design and things like that. So that's what I did, and that's how I got my first big girl job. And the piece I'm actually, what I wanted to do when I got into Blender was try to recreate an artwork that I had made in the past. And because I already know like what the animation is, I don't have to sit here and like rethink about the colors and design and art direction of everything. I can just go right into it and focus on learning the program, of which Blender's a very, very powerful program. It can do so many things. It's honestly a little bit overwhelming, but that's okay because it's free, it's open source. I'm so glad it exists. We should support more open source things. Okay, that's the secret to ending capitalism, guys. So let's try to support these things as best as we can. But it's just honestly, it's just really a little overwhelming. But yeah, this animation actually was a part of my OG portfolio that got me my first big girl job. And it's interesting because I feel like like if I could do it again, I would like rechange the typography a little bit. But I think it's like it's a cute piece. Like if you were scrolling on social media, like that's what it was made for by with the 1:1 ratio. It was made for social media. Like scroll on Instagram and you would see it. And yeah, they really liked it in the interview, so that's cool. So if you're trying to get your first motion graphics job, like don't be afraid to like do things that are a little more on the animation side of things. Like just as long as you can show that you have really good eye for color, and like not that I have a great eye for color, I just steal color. Like that's what's great. You can't copyright color schemes, you know what I mean? So I have a whole Pinterest board of just beautiful color palettes I like, and it got me a job. So I relied heavily on Dédouze's, like he has like a series on Blender, and I had went through his tutorials on YouTube. I'll link it in the description. Please support his work. He's absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I had relied heavily on that tutorial to help me figure out like what the hell is happening here, and like what things do I need to be paying attention to in Blender, and what things are I can like ignore, which is like 99% of it. Or with the grease pencil, like you mainly seem to color with materials, which is interesting. You can also color with like, I think they're called like vertex colors. Hold on, let me look up like what is vertex colors. I don't remember. Anyway, there's some sort of difference between vertices, colors, and materials colors, and it confused me for a while because they like it kind of appeared differently, and like I throughout this process I'm remembering how much I dislike 3D stuff because I feel like I'm not in control of the colors. Like, why do I have to keep track of the camera? Like, why do I have to worry about like what the lighting of the scene is, and all the colors end up going wrong even though I chose these specific colors and I want them to look a certain way? It's just like it's just too much. Yeah, but basically I didn't end up really liking this. I guess you could consider this a fail. Yeah, because I have been trying over and over to make myself go back and finish this project, and I just can't. Mainly because I had just thought in my search for a new replacement for Adobe After Effects that's either cheap or free, I came across toonsquid. I keep wanting to say Toon, but it's toonsquid, and toonsquid is so strong that I really think that was the answer to my problems here. I'm making like a million different animations at the same time in toonsquid. Like, it's really gotten my creativity up again. I made a whole video on working on toonsquid and like why you should consider it, so I'll link that below. But I really I think this app is underrated, and I kind of think they should charge more, but it's okay. It's okay. It's $10, but I understand Blender's free. I love that the Blender's free. But for my purposes, like, the interface of toonsquid is just clean and sleek, and it's already very reminiscent of like Procreate. Like, if you already used any type of drawing app on the iPad already before, it's very like intuitive. I didn't really like, I did read the whole documentation for toonsquid. That's because I might make like a whole video for it. But really, you can jump into that thing and really understand what you're doing without any instruction. But as you can see here in my Blender video, I am constantly messaging my bestie, Chat GPT, and like, it just gets frustrating when you just want to do the same animation. You just want to get through it, and it's kind of why I don't even really like jumping into new programs anyway, because I hate the whole learning curve process and doing all that again. So I really just don't recommend Blender for motion graphics. Maybe somebody else can achieve, like, I'm certain somebody with more patience than me can achieve a really great result and probably do some things that, like, since it's like in the 3D space, you could probably do like crazy cool creative things that I can't even comprehend in here or have the mind's eye for. But more power to you. Like, go make your YouTube video, girl. Go get your money, because I'm not gonna sit here and do this. So, too long, didn't read. Just download toonsquid. Blender is not the answer, but Blender is amazing. You should still support Blender. Support open source. Let's end capitalism. And subscribe if you want to see. I think I want to like make an anime drawing video, so subscribe if you like anime. And if you don't, leave me a hate comment.